Hello there, this is Jared Mello, and I'm back at it again with another episode of Mello Mentoring. Today's video is going to be me recollecting what it was like to live with anxiety and depression. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what it's like, and a lot of people claim to have sympathy or to understand mental illness, and then condemn pretty harshly the actions of people who are mentally ill and what they do. And a lot of times they don't mean to do it. They just have a chemical imbalance or a mood disorder or maybe both. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's like to feel anxiety, to feel depression. Now, there's also a distinction between anxiety and insecurity. Insecurity to me is like lack of belief in ourselves. We don't feel confident. But anxiety is more of like a feeling that caused in me the following. So I wouldn't be able to look people in the eye. I get like this real gnawing thing in my chest whenever I try to. And then I'd start doing like little nervous ticks. I'd quick turn my head to the left or look, and I couldn't keep focused on any one thing. I seen someone on Facebook the other day mention how they hate it when she looks at them and they can't help but to look away. And I was like, yeah, I used to do that exact same thing. And it's not because I had any animosity towards the person. It was just, I just felt that self-conscious and that much anxiety. I would really not be able to speak in complete sentences. I would sometimes slur my words. Talking to women, just about out of the question. And as I talk about this, it just reminds me how far I've come. And I'm so grateful for how far I've come and how I feel today. To have the supplement routine, to have a better mindset. It's freaking awesome. It really is. What else would happen? I could do things like public speaking. Like I used to go to self-help groups and I was able to speak, but I'd also sometimes sweat a little bit. I'd feel like just like very uncomfortable in my own skin because of anxiety. And since, of course, that's gone away. Like I might get a little tense before I talk in front of a group, but I've learned how to do it. I became uncomfortable enough so that now that I got my supplement routine as well, and I have the mindset to go with it, I'm not afraid to talk in front of any room, ever. And every room I walk into, I act as if I might have to speak in front of the whole room at some point, and I'm ready for it. Because you go to a lot of group events, and it happens. You're supposed to go up there, and they have these random things where you're supposed to talk to everyone. And so I'm just always prepared. And it's really helped me just to have that constant mindset. Where before, I'd be in a crowd, and I'd want to freaking shrink. I'd want to hide so that I wouldn't be called upon. I'd be afraid to ask questions in class because I thought, oh, everyone's going to make fun of my question. And since I've learned, hey, if I have the question, chances are someone else has the question too. And so I just own it. And hey, if someone gives me shit for asking a dumb question, like, oh well. Like seriously, like, oh well. There's worse things in the world. But back when I really had anxiety, I would dread it. I would dread asking the question and being made to look like a fool. I would dread public speaking events weeks in advance. And it'd just be like something I dreaded. And now it's actually something that I enjoy in the moment. So it's like, wow, look at how far I've come from where I was to where I am. And I don't want to sound cocky about it, but I just say this to remind myself if I'm ever slipping back into an ungrateful attitude. It's like, yeah, Jared, you've done pretty well. So be grateful. And when we find more things to be grateful for and we become grateful for the things we already have, we tend to get more things to be grateful for, which is funny how it works like that. And the same that goes for people who complain a lot too. If we're complaining a lot, then the universe tends to give us more things to complain about. Funny how it works that way, right? So those are the biggest symptoms of my anxiety, that terrible feeling in my chest, nervous tics, not being able to look someone in the eye, dreading events for weeks in advance. That's more of a mental anxiety, but still anxiety nonetheless. Being fearful of asking questions in class. What else? like racing heart, sweaty palms, just extreme uncomfortability. I wouldn't wish this upon anyone. And so if you see out there, guys and girls, people acting in this manner, chances they might have an anxiety disorder. I had a pretty severe one. It's social anxiety mixed with generalized anxiety. And it doesn't mean they don't like you. It might come off like they're snooty. It might come off like they think they're better than you. But that's not really what they think. It's probably more so the opposite. They think they're nothing. And they think you're much better than them. So that's how it is. And I think I've been an alright looking guy before. And since I had anxiety, I think it came off even more as he just thinks he's better than me. He just thinks he's better than. And it came off as like I was just kind of being stuck up. But it couldn't have been any further from the truth. I just had severe anxiety. So you can't judge the book by its cover. And then in regards to depression, man, I would have suicidal idealizations at a time. Just no joy or pleasure from anything in life. A lack of motivation, low energy in all levels, loss of interest in many things. I would tend to sleep more when I was depressed as well. And I just would be feeling like slow and lethargic. It was just like darkness. I've gotten a lot of these tattoos on my right arm because of that dark feeling that I had. It just wasn't very fun. But I wanted to concentrate more on the anxiety because I think the anxiety symptoms, they get more overlooked. There's a lot of talk about depression right now, and it can be pretty evident. Like if a guy's not getting out of bed, yeah, it could be some depression. He has a loss of interest in activities he used to enjoy or she used to enjoy. Yes, it could be depression. But I've always remembered, depression has a hard time hitting a moving target. So when I plan my days and try to do things, I'm not saying it's a cure, because I know when I feel depressed, I'm much less likely to do the things that are good for me. I'm not going to feel like it, but when I keep on going and doing things, the days go by, and generally, I do feel a little bit better. So that's my talk today about anxiety and depression. There's ways out of it. That's the other thing. I don't like to talk about just the problem. There's ways out, whether it's therapy, whether it's psychiatric medications, or supplements like I take, and preferably maybe it's just sleep, diet, and exercise improvements, and that will help. But whatever it is, I don't judge what people do and how they get better. All I care about are the results. Is it working for you? And are you becoming a happier, healthier version of yourself? That's it. So that's my video today about what it's like to have anxiety and depression. Please comment below if you think I forgot anything or other symptoms, how it came to be in your life, how it showed up in your own life. And yeah, I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a good one.